Hugo Broos has changed our lives. South Africa 1, South Korea 0, and we are through. We are through to the knockout stages. Listen to this. Listen to this. For the first time in history of South African football. Abangizwanga labantu. For the first time, I mean ever. It's not like, oh, for the first time in 20 years, for the first time. Bafana, even with about Dr. Khumalo, even with about Steven Pienaar, even with all the greatest players that you can think of to ever play for South Africa, have never, ever made it out of a group. And they have, because I know that there's going to be a naysayer who's going to say, if Hugo Broos had not been a coward from the start, would have finished first. No, we're not. We're not. Let's be honest. Mexico are still going to, even if they drew with us, they're going to win the other two games and have 7 points. Or even if they did, even if Bafana had finished first, I don't think that's really relevant here, because you just want to be negative. You just want to be negative. Bafana messed up in the first game big time. Hugo Broos made that huge mistake in the first game by doing what he did. But listen, sometimes you go through certain situations so that you can learn. Bafana in their first game were horrible. The world laughed at us, and those in West Africa were even happy because of what happened to us. But the coach learned. Yabona, that's one thing that we should not dismiss. The coach learned from his mistake. The first thing, he played a back five. He went to the second game, went back to the normal 4-2-3-1. But the problem with that 4-2-3-1, he was leaving 1-6. And then second half of the Czechia game, he brought Mofokeng. Now went back to the formation that we had been playing in our qualifiers. Perfect. And in the third game, he continued with the system that has gotten us here. And the boys then had to deliver. Broos fixed his mistakes. Now it was up to the boys to deliver. Starting with the first one. And that player is Yaya Spepelo Stole. What a solid game. Right? Mbata was also there. Decent game. But for Ustole, remember, this guy was not good in our qualifiers. Remember, Ustole was not good in our first game. Lost the ball, we ended up conceding. Got a red card, he was out. So now, he's coming back. Umkwena is not there, which means no one is there to cover him, which means now you are the one who's expected to step up. And remember, whatever mistake, if we lose, it's on you. Because people are going to say, yeah, he was not here and then we played better. Now he's back and then we lose. Guess what? He's back, he performs, and in the last 10 to 15 minutes, he played 20 minutes with the cramp. Like, because I remember that they added 6 minutes on top of the 15 minutes where I saw him collapsing. I was like, that guy is done. But he still pushed. He still pushed. Forget Yabona, the first 75 minutes, proper, playing proper. But it was done after 85 minutes. But he was still there. He was still running. He was still limping, going to the ball. And I think those are the things that we need to normalize. We need to give credit where credit is due. Lomchita udlalile, but I know because of agendas, there's still going to be people who will want him out. I saw at halftime that there were some people who were already saying Adams must come on for him because he's not that good. You do know that not every pass needs to go forward, but it's not like I was playing a lot of back passes in any case. But even if he was, what is the point of forcing forward passes when there's no need? Because you obsess ngama forward passes, some of you, to a point you always want the ball to go forward, even if there's no need for the ball to go forward. There is a block there, but you want the ball to go forward. But he wasn't doing that. Look at the defensive work that he brought into the team. But also look at how easy they made things. Him and Mofokeng were clicking very, very well. They were clicking very, very well. And him and Bata as well were partnering up very, very well. So I just want to talk about him first, because in the absence of Mokoena, did you see that Mokoena was not there? Like, seriously, did you see? Like, with all due respect to Mokoena, I'm not saying, oh, we don't need Mokoena, we can do without him. No, but I'm saying in today's game, it didn't feel like we're missing our key player, one of the best players that we've had, like one of the most important players we've had in Hugo Broos's time. Yet here we are without him because Umchita showed up and was clutch. And then the player who the country was campaigning for him, and I remember when he came on against Czechia, we celebrated while doing the watch along because we're like, oh, Mfukeng is here! We were so happy because we knew what this boy can give us. And in the previous game, a lot of things had changed, the system had changed, and we had to now kind of, what can I say, play in a way that was going to create space for him. They man-marked him and all of that. And I made a comment, which I still stand by the way, which was Mfukeng in that game against Czechia did not give us all that he could. And I said in the pre-match video for this game, I was like, if he starts the game, will grow into the game. Because the reason why I think in that previous game, although he had impact, don't get me wrong, he had an impact in that game because also the system had changed. And he had an impact, but it wasn't Relem Mfukeng like to the fullest, right? And that just came down to time. He comes in today. 4 key passes, right? 4 key passes, and then there was a cross, 19 out of 22 accurate passes, and then passes in opposition half, 14 out of the 17 they replayed, and then only 5 in our own half, and then 5 out of 6 long balls. The idea is he was the 10, and he was allowed to play in the half of South Korea. And why was he allowed to play in the half? Because Ustole Benombata were holding it down behind him. And all he had to do was his job. And now, you know what's important about Mfukeng as well in this game? If we go to his defensive stats, or just use your eyes, you saw that he was working really hard with Makgopa to press up front. And he was tracking back a lot. He was fighting. So when we look at players, one thing that usually happens with players who are really good on the ball is that sometimes they don't give us much defensively. Like Mfukeng right now, he had 3 defensive contributions, 2 tackles and 1 clearance, 3 recoveries. And then he won 2 out of his 5 ground duels. It's fine. He's small. But the point is, he gave you, and this I can say is closer to what Mfukeng can fully give you. He gave us a really high level performance. By the way, I'm not saying he didn't give us anything. I'm saying, imagine if he had scored. He didn't have a chance to score, but he had so many chances to pass, which he did. He wasn't a selfish player. He didn't get the ball and think, oh, this is Relem Mfukeng show. No. When he got the ball in the first half, he was finding Masego. When he got the ball, he was finding Apolis. When he got the ball, he was, as I said, with 6s, sometimes you don't have to expect them to always play forward passes. But with 10s, then the pressure of progress the ball is there. And Mfukeng, there wasn't that. He didn't look out of place at all. There wasn't a single thing that said, ooh, that boy's under pressure. Everything there was saying, this boy is ready. This boy can carry the country. Obviously, people would say, oh, don't put pressure on the kid. Here's the thing. Lamine Yamal is younger than Mfukeng and he's carrying the nation. We should stop calling them kids. Just let him sink or swim. Like, they must take that accountability because Umfana comes in and he shows us what he's made of. And we look at these countries, man. You look at Abo Spain, for example, Lamine Yamal, but it's not the only one. Kona Abo Pedri Lapo, Kona Abo Dani Olmo. You move to other teams as well, other national teams. Abo France, you look at how many young players they have. You look at England, how many young players they have. You look at Uruguay, Argentina. Well, Argentina, they are a bit older, but they start them young. So Nati, today, in our progression, having this boy, arguably the best footballer in South Africa right now because, you know, of what he does, because obviously there is also Umkwena, but that's not the comparison we want to do right now. What we want to do is say, good job, Mfukeng. And last but not least, I said Mfukeng got the ball a lot of times, and a lot of those times he was able to find one player and one player only, and that is Uthapelo Masego. And Umchita got how many shots? Let me see. He got 5 shots. 5 shots he got, and out of those 5 he should have scored 2 before the goal. And we're like, oh, is it gonna happen today? Is it going to happen today? Boy, oh boy, did it happen. Oh, did it happen. Again, I want to say this. Hugo Broos. I will show Hugo Broos. He deserves the credit for that goal, Hugo Broos. I know Good Masego scored the goal. I know Tustole was solid. I know Good Mfukeng was good. But Hugo Broos, despite that Masego is the one who scored that goal, Hugo Broos deserves the credit. Why? One of the best players in our qualifiers was Osuna Police. And we talked about him in the previous game that he did not look that great. Yeah. And we thought he was going to be taken off. He wasn't. So what did Hugo Broos do in this game when he saw that Police was not in the game? He took him off. And then he brought on Tsepang Moremi, who drove with the ball down that left-hand side and then played across. And then, I don't know how many people will give him credit. Ngwana Sesi, Evidence Mahopa, saw the ball, saw Maseko. Remember, one of my criticism of Mahopa last game was there was a time he should have passed the ball to Police. There was a time he should have passed the ball to, I think, Mfukeng in the previous game. He didn't look up. Today, the ball, if it's another strike, he tries to take the ball with his left and then he swings. He gets blocked most likely because he would have been playing with a weaker foot. But he sees the ball, he sees Masego. He does not become selfish. He lets it run. And then the goal is scored. Team goal, no selfishness, good sub from the coach to bring on someone who can give us something. And then that's it. Bafana are through. They have progressed. My days. What a time to be South African. And Pain has landed safe up there. In West Africa. Huh? Subscribe to the channel for more South African football content like this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the watch along of the last 32. Well, I'll still make the analysis of this game first. I'm so happy to get you.